Hey You Lime and Limptic Soylent Greens. I will now be ranking the discography of legendary English progressive psychedelic rock band Pink Floyd. Number 15 is The Endless River, the band's final album released as a tribute to Richard Wright after he sadly passed. Made with leftover experiments from the Division Bell, it is okay to listen to but doesn't hold much weight. Number 14 is More, the band's first film soundtrack. It is rather experimental in nature but does have some interesting musical moments, but nothing too memorable. Number 13 is A Momentary Lapse of Reason, the first album without Roger Waters. It originally was going to be a solo album by David Gilmour and it does come across as that. Very dated in its sound, it does have some good songs and moments, but a lot of filler. Number 12 is Obscured by Clouds, the band's second soundtrack album. It does show seeds of what is to come for their future sound, but it isn't as strong as it should be. Number 11 is The Final Cut, the final album with Roger Waters. It was very much a Waters solo album, with only very minor contributions from others. Some of the material is good and the lyrical concept is great, but there is a good amount of filler. Number 10 is Ummagumma, the band's most experimental album. The live section shows them at their best improvising live, while the studio part is each member showing off their avant-garde abilities. Bit of a weird one but very interesting. Number 9 is The Piper at the Gates of Dawn, the band's debut. It does really show off their experimental and psychedelic edges, but also shows the brilliant quirkiness of Syd Barrett, at times a bit too odd, but something very unique to be heard in the late 60s. Number 8 is Atom Heart Mother, the band's most instrumental album. It sees them creating interesting dramatic compositions, arranging for other instruments outside the band. As an achievement it's fantastic but things would only get better. Classic album cover too. Number 7 is The Division Bell, the best album out of the era without Waters. It is a more focused album than the previous, with better songwriting, great lyrics and some brilliant atmosphere throughout. As a full final project, it does the job well with some amazing playing throughout. Number 6 is A Saucer Full of Secrets, the band's only album as a 5-piece and with final contributions from Syd Barrett. This is one of their most underlooked albums, with Richard Wright and Roger Waters providing some of their most underrated tracks. There are some moments that are a bit too experimental, but they were young at the time. Number 5 is Medal. While their previous experiments usually didn't lead to much substance, this was a true molding of their sound. Well played with some amazing performances and vocals, and the odd silly experiment. Number 4 is The Wall, the band's most big-budget project, a double-concept album dealing with trauma, regression and politics. It truly is a magnificent achievement, followed by a massive tour and pretty great feature-length film. While it is Roger's baby, it is his own personal masterpiece. Some filler but it all weaves together well. Number 3 is Wish You Were Here. The band's follow-up to their biggest album could have seen them fail, but instead they took their sound and expanded it. A concept album about the dangers and dark side to fame. The band are the tightest they've been musically, creating something powerful, complex yet easily accessible. Number 2 is The Dark Side of the Moon. A tad overrated but it deserves the praise it gets and it is a pivotal moment of the band's career. The finest line between experimental and contemporary was crossed with this album, showing that something deep and artistic could still be easily accessible. All linked together with fantastic music, conceptual lyrics, sound effects and voice clips. It's an emotional roller coaster that will attach itself to your DNA. The best album by Pink Floyd in my opinion is Animals, the band's most underlooked album. I believe it to be the best album when it comes to performance, songcraft, concept, lyrics and overall production. inspired by George Orwell's Animal Farm. It sees the band going into political discourse and metaphor with areas of great satire and moments of potent pathos. David Gilmour's guitar work on this album is utterly outstanding and probably some of the best in the genre, their absolute underlooked masterpiece. Thanks for watching. Look at them there. Best of friends. Recommend me another band to do this with, or else I'll upload you to the cloud and delete you.